Good day. In this video, we're going to show you how to solve for x and y simultaneously using elimination. There will always be two equations like this example that you have here. We'll call the one equation 1 and the other equation 2. Both equations will have the same two variables in them. And all the variables will be of the first degree. It means it'll have a little 1 in the air. Then this technique will work. The question will say, solve for x and y simultaneously. Then we will use these 5 steps. You'll understand after we've done 3 examples with you, but firstly, we'll get the terms in the same order compared to the equal sign, times one or both the equations with a number, so that the x or the y has the same coefficient on both, but with different signs. Thirdly, we'll add them now and solve for the variable that's left. Then we'll substitute that back into 1, 2, or 3 and solve. Then we'll check if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side on 1 or 2. You'll use this technique in a lot of sections in maths. Let's just start with this. It says here solve for x and y, and they gave us these two equations. First, we number them. First one we can call number 1, and the next one number 2. Some call them A and B, so that you can understand what we are doing when talking about that one. Firstly, get them in the same order compared to the equal sign. We kept the order of number 1. We took number 2 and added an x on both sides to get that x to go and stand there. Next, we want to get the same coefficients in front of x or in front of y, but with different signs. I decided to keep my second equation the way it was and times my first equation by a minus 1. Then I ended up with a minus x minus 2y equals to minus 5. If you times an equation by something, you must times everything by that quotient of minus 1. You can now call this the third equation, but it is actually still equation 1, just times by minus 1 right through. Number 3 said, now we just add these terms. Minus x plus x is 0, minus 2x minus 1x is minus 3x, minus 5 minus 1 is minus 6. Now we only have one variable. Now we solve for y by dividing by minus 3 on both sides. We get y equals to 2. Now you substitute this y is equal to 2 back into either 3 or 2, even this 2 or this 1. I decided to substitute y equals to 2 back into 2, the one in the red there. So I first rewrite it, replace the y with 2 in a bracket, and then solve for x. First we plus 1 on both sides to get rid of this minus 1. We divide by minus 1 on both sides and we get x equals to 1. So here we have our answer, x is equal to 1 and y equals to 2. Now to check that you didn't make any calculation mistakes, you quickly check if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side in either number 1 or number 2 equation. I took the number 1 equation. The left-hand side on the original number 1 equation was x plus 2y. The right-hand side was 5. So you write left-hand side is this and right-hand side is that. Substitute the x and y in here. You see the left-hand side is 5 and the right-hand side is 5. And you can say left-hand side equals right-hand side. Don't spend a lot of time on this, but understand that you can check yourself. Please stop the video and get your brain around what happened here. This is our second simultaneous equation. We must solve for x and y. We already numbered them for you. So firstly we get them in the same order. The first one we're going to use his order. The second one we take this minus 3y, we plus 3y on both sides. Then it moves and goes and stand here, and we plus a 10 on both sides, and he goes there. Next we want the same number in front of x or in front of y, but with different signs. Let's keep the second one, and let's times the first equation by minus 2 right through. 2 times minus 2 gives you a minus 4x. This times minus 2 gives you a minus 2y. And this times minus 2 gives you a minus 12. In equations, whatever you do to the one side, you must do to the other side. You may now call this equation 3, but it is still equation 1. Now we add these two equations. So 3 plus 2 gives us y equals to minus 2. That minus 4x plus 4x is 0. Minus 2y plus 3y is y. Minus 12 plus 10 is minus 2. Now substitute this value for y back into either 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to substitute it back into 2, that one. I usually write down the equation again. Substitute the minus 2 in the place of y. That 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. You plus 6 on both sides, you get 4x equals 16. Then we get x equals to 4. So our final answer is x equals to 4 and y equals to minus 2. Please stop the video and get your brain around this technique. Now you may check your answer. Check if your left-hand side is equal to your right-hand side. In any one of the equations, I'm going to go for equation 1 again. The left-hand side is 2x plus y and the right-hand side is 6. You simplify and you see that the left-hand side is also equal to 6. The left-hand side equals to the right-hand side. So our values for x and y must be right. Please stop the video and get your brain around this one. Here's our last simultaneous equation for this video. We solve for x and y. We number them 1 and 2. First, we get the terms in the same order, and they are in the same order. Next, we want either the y or the x to have the same number in front of it, both of them, but with different signs. I decided to make the x's the same. I took the first equation and times it by 3 right through. 5 times 3 is 15y. Plus 4 times 3 is plus 12x. And 9 times 3 is 27. This is still equation 1, but let's call it equation 3 because it looks so different. Then I took equation 2 and I times it by 4. 4 times 4 is 16y. 4 times minus 3 is minus 12 with the x. And 4 times 32 gives me 128. I can call this my fourth equation, although it is still my second equation. Now we add them. Equation 3 plus equation 4, 15y plus 16y is 31y. Plus 12x minus 12x is no x's. And 27 plus 128 gives me 155. Divide by 31 on both sides and we get y equals to 5. Substitute this y is 5 back into any one of your equations. I decided to substitute it back into number 1, the top equation here. Rewrite the full equation. Substitute the y with 5. Minus 25 on both sides. You get 4x equals to minus 16. Divide by 4 on both sides. You get x equals to minus 4. Final answer, x equals to minus 4 and y equals to 5. You may now check your answer, but the answer stops here. The question was solve for x and y, and here it is, x equals to minus 4 and y equals to 5. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked the video and subscribe to the channel. If you run into a simultaneous equation that you have trouble with, you may send a clear WhatsApp picture of your problem to this number and a clear WhatsApp picture of where you tried it. Then we will try and solve the problem and send back an answer as soon as possible. Enjoy simultaneous equations.